Daisy Gideon, on our first podcast, what can we say? It's an honour, honestly, to have you here tonight.
It's my absolute pleasure and a great honour for me to be, the first guest on your, on a podcast that I'm sure is going to make history and be a very powerful and popular podcast.
Thank you. It's very encouraging, really. Thank you.
Daisy, without a cliche, I want to start with a question where I'm personally intrigued to know a little bit about little Daisy, like, a little bit about yourself from birth and what got you to where you are today.
Well, that's beautiful because honestly, little Daisy, that's really touching. I mean, little Daisy really grew up in Beirut and in Kispa.
Oh, wow.
Born in on my grandfather's kitchen floor with midwives, as they did in the village in the old days. And that was my mother's village. My dad is from Riyadh, so,
okay. That's next to Zahra?
Yeah.
Well.
And I really didn't remember anything about Lebanon, though. I only know the photos of when I was little, but I know the stories that my mum and dad would tell me. And so we grew up in Jdeideh. We had a unit in Jdeideh, or in the village in Kispa.
And that would be weekends, or would it be like something?
Sometimes we stayed in Kispa because my dad was in the airlines. He worked for British Mediterranean Airlines back in the 60s, and they would move. He moved to Kuwait for about 6 months. So when that was happening, my mum would stay with her family up in the village, more safety and security and support, really. So it was in between. We had both. So I've got photos of the village, really, of when I was little, with my grandmother, my grandfather, Allah Hamon, and we came out when I was, nearly 5.
Okay.
And then grew up in Australia,
What area?
We started in Lakemba on Wanji Road.
Obviously, the hood.
We didn't have the mosque then, but it was the hood. So, and it was very Lebanese. And so my dad, when he came out 6 months before us, he went to where the community was. Yeah. And we stayed there for about a year. And then we moved to Summerhill.
Okay, nice move. Wow.
My dad, met people and they had a shop that they were selling. And so in 1971 we moved to Summerhill and we owned a little corner store, which was, a grocery store. And that's where I grew up all the way until I was nearly 18.
Okay.
And loved it. Absolutely loved my youth. Had a wonderful childhood and grew up on the streets playing forcings back and hiding seeks around 4 blocks and working in the shop from the age of 6 or 7. You know what you have to do?
What they had to do, yeah. Our kids now don't do any of that. It's all video games.
Do your homework, play in the shop, and then go out in the street and play. When the customer comes, run in, serve them, go back out. That's what you did. The multitasking started from a very young age because my dad would work at Australia Post as well. My mum would be cooking, cleaning, whatever, and we just had to do it. And that's 99% of Lebanese in Australia or around the world.
What was your education?
I went to university and I studied arts. Okay. And my majors were English, politics and history.
Wow.
And the subjects I chose were Middle East politics, Middle East history,
that makes sense.
International relations, international politics, public policy, that kind of stuff.
But I mean, filmmaking, because when we look at your socials...
Didn't do filmmaking.
Yeah, we saw journalism, obviously businesswoman as you are, very successful.
Thank you.
Filmmaking. So where did that come from, this experience?
That came from journalism.
Okay.
So at the same time, straight out of high school, I had the option to go straight to uni or apply for a cadetship as a journalist. Okay. And back in those days, 90% of journalists could only become journalists if they got a cadetship. That's the way it was in the 80s. So the traditional way is a newspaper or a TV station or radio station would pick you up, and take you
on board and they'll teach you their way.
That's exactly right. And so I actually had to do a test, an entry test into News Corp, Murdoch's papers and organisation.
Where are they now?
They're still in Surrey Hills.
Okay.
You know, the Australian's still around, Sunday Telly's still around, but back in my day, they had so many more papers. You know, the Daily Mirror was around, and you know, back in the days, the Sun and everything. But yeah, it's shrunk. But I got in. I was one of 11 people that got chosen out of, I don't think, 1,200 people who sat for their test. And not that it was the test that got me in, because he said to me,
it's your pizzazz, it's your personality, I reckon. I don't know.
Well, it was like, so we did the test in December before Christmas, and then every week I would call and say, do you have the results?
Oh.
How'd I go? Do you have the results? And uni started, like, you know, but every week I was phoning him up, you know, and I started, you know, going, am I going to get this job? And like, I was so nervous. But
you wanted it, you were hungry, like you are right now.
That was it. April came, he said, come and see me. This really Aussie guy, Rossheim. Can you come in next week?
No,
come in and see me at 10 a.m. And then I'm sitting at 10 a.m. in front of him. He goes, you know why you got the job? Because you're tenacious.
Oh, I like it.
Because you know, you didn't do good in the there were people who did much better than you in the test. He said, but academics doesn't make a journalist.
No, you got to be hungry.
He said, you got to be hungry, you got to be tenacious, you got to keep looking after, you know, going for
persistent. You can't just.
This is what we see in the movie. يعني كتير انبسطت أنا وقتها شفنا إنه البيسكس تبع النولج هن الجورناليزم، يعني بيفرجونا بالموفي هيدا البارت كتير حبيتها. It's not only as if it's your diary, your own diary. وقتها أنت تكتبي وتصلحي I love it. Like
it's real.
Real. Journalism وعم بتصلح أغلاطها وبتقول هون I rewrite, I want to rewrite, I want to. يعني basically it shows in the movie إنه هي صحفية.
Look, I was one of the unfortunate that didn't see it. Yeah. I didn't see it. She saw it. So half Lebanese Australian didn't see it, and the halves were overseas. Inshallah, moving forward with your campaign, we want everyone to see it.
Yes.
الفلاشباكس اللي بيعملون كتير حلوين.
What's the campaign about? Like, can you tell me a little bit about what we're doing?
Well, you know, the most important thing, and I hope Mary, you got it from watching the film. بحكي معك بالعربي.
English, Arabic, whatever you want.
Okay.
I will mix a little bit. You will correct my English.
She can talk Spanish, French, whatever you want.
لا بس
look,
I'm not so proficient in English anyway. So
you sound wonderful. So
perfect.
Don't worry. You look.
Thank you.
This is the most impressive thing about the Lebanese is the ability to speak in so many languages, and it's natural, like it's normal. You know, so many people in Lebanon speak multilingual. So.
Like we still have this, but then
you know,
that's the corruption. We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
So 9th of April,
April,
you'll be heading with the crew to Lebanon.
We're heading on the 1st of April.
The 1st of April.
And it's not the full crew, just a couple of people going over.
Okay.
Because it's expensive, and you know, we don't have money. It's like, you know, as you do when you do something from your heart, you got to, you know, it's you're doing it off your own bat a lot. So we can't take everyone, but that's okay. The people that need to see it are in Lebanon. You know, this is for Lebanon. So we're heading, and you know, to Lebanon. And I was just going to say, you watched the film and you saw the message in the film is about empowering, educating and empowering. I had to be educated and empowered, and that journey for me for 5 years was an enlightenment. It was a journey of awakening for me, as well as, and this is what I want for the Lebanese, and it was revealing the facts as they unfolded for me, because it changed, the story changed from 2016, 2017 when I started, 2018, 2019 the revolution, 2020 the explosion, 2021 the economic collapse and the crisis, all of this unpacked, and we had to show that to the world, and what we had to do was show the facts and the reason behind it, the cause, the disease, you know, the cancer that is allowed all of this to collapse, and that's the corruption that we're leading to. But and like, so the message of the film and why we're heading to Lebanon, we launched in Australia in December, and we've still got screenings. We've had screenings around the world in festivals, but now the most important thing is to head to Lebanon. And we always had the goal not to open in Lebanon too soon, to release the film in Lebanon to all of the Lebanese before the elections,
Okay.
5 to 6 weeks, because it's going to make them angry.
Okay.
It's going to make them want to do something, mobilize.
Want to change.
Want to change.
And how do you change?
By getting involved in the elections.
Okay.
By voting. And right now, the message is that people feel disaffected. They feel like they have no power. They feel depressed. They're economically at their worst.
Lowest.
No, they feel
Lowest.
dead. They feel
dead.
dead.
Their message for me, you would know more than me. You're in touch
I know,
more. And
I know.
I hear it. They're like, they have no hope. They've lost hope. But they're still standing because we're Lebanese. We won't die, but we feel helpless. So what I want, and I said, because we had private screenings in Lebanon in October and September, to some of the Thawra groups and groups who are very much against the Sulta, to say, look, we have this film. We want to use it to inspire them, to make them that
Feel empowered.
push.
Yeah, they need
This
that
is
push.
what we wanted to ask you, Georgie and I.
Yes.
Like your movie, do you consider it as a political tool?
100%.
Yeah.
It's a humane tool, but it's also, it's political because what it does is politics is voting and voting is politics. It's all interconnected. It's a self-empowerment tool.
Exactly.
Even if we can't change them, at least we make a change. And it always takes that first step in change. So we're
And the-
hoping,
Exactly.
the movie gets
And the
us there.
timing is so good. إن شاء الله يعني April 9 فكرة كتير حلوة. As you said, they are already dead, apathic, ما بدهم يروحوا ينتخبوا. So when you go there, you trigger something.
New hope.
Fear.
New
New hope. مش بس جيلنا الأصغر.
The younger generation, because they're a third of the population, the voting population.
Well, that's it.
1/3 are between 21 and 35.
Okay.
That's a significant number of people.
Exactly.
I know not all of them are anti-establishment or sulta, but the majority are. The majority have understood what the problem is, and the majority, because the young people didn't live the war, the young
Yes.
people didn't live that dedication to the leader because they helped them during the
Yeah,
crisis
they
or
don't care.
whatever.
They just want to see the change. They,
They
want to see the
just
better.
want to live and have a
Exactly.
future.
I've seen a GoFundMe online with enough. How does that go hand in hand?
So what we've created, and this is with the global diaspora, is we have established an event on the 9th of April, is to bring the global Lebanese community together with the Lebanese in Lebanon.
Okay.
So we will launch in Lebanon across 10 cinemas across the whole country. And we will have the premiere event in Beirut, but every cinema that's open, there's only 10 cinemas left open in Lebanon. Every one of them will be screening the film in like Shweifet and Las Salinas and Dubai and Zahle.
How do people secure their ticket?
There's a number
Okay.
that they can call, and they say, I want to book for this cinema. I have 10 people, I have 20 people. It's all for free. We've coordinated. We're asking the Lebanese diaspora to help us by sponsoring one person, $20.
So I don't go to my political party to get tickets.
No.
Are you sure?
Well, look, if that political party wants to buy 20 tickets,
Yeah, go for it. We'll use your money.
they're buying their tickets. What they're doing is, look, they're not buying tickets. What they're doing
Putting
is
in the fund.
sponsoring in the
Yes.
fund. And the thing, they can call this number in Beirut and say, hey, I need 20 tickets. We want the Tayyar to come. We want
Everyone.
Hezbollah to
They're
come.
part
We
of
want
our
Amal
society,
to come.
Habibi. Who
there
are
are
they?
people.
We
There are
already
people.
know the number or بس تنزلوا على لبنان?
No,
Yeah,
we
the
have the
GoFundMe will
number.
be showing on the
because I'm
screen
gonna
now.
tell
I'm
my
going to
friends.
tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. I had the
Yeah.
picture up.
Yeah.
Let me just go back and find it for you because it's here. Let me.
Yeah, and as we speak now, we'll get our producer to put the GoFundMe on the screen.
Yeah. So it's 70, 40, 40, 50.
Wow.
Local number.
Local number.
Call the number.
And secure
Book
your ticket.
tickets. And you can find out from them which cinemas like Vox, BCC, Cinemal, Grand Dubai, Grand Ashrafiyya, Galaxy, Beirut Souk, Stargate, Empire, all the cinemas.
All the
Excellent.
cinemas.
So that's just on one day, but I'll just finish explaining. So at 3 p.m. across Beirut, because we have Ramadan, so we did it earlier to نحترم الإسلام اللي عم
يصوموا.
يفطروا.
So it's before they iftar. So it will be finished قبل الإفطار, so they can go home and celebrate.
Beautiful.
And at that same time across Lebanon, and the same time 3 p.m. we have it across 11 time zones around the world.
That's amazing.
So the diaspora can log. We've got it'll be on the screen. You can register to watch it at the same time. It'll be in Arabic with English subtitles, and we want the world to watch. You can watch the film in your time zone. It'll be like it might be
simultaneous.
10 p.m. in Australia, in Sydney. We'll show you the time zones. It might be 3 p.m. in Paris, and LA. I think it's 5 a.m. Whatever. People can wake up, but
It's the solidarity. It's the one time,
the
one
oneness.
heart. Yeah.
But then when the film finishes after an hour and a half, the diaspora around the world will be live streamed into Beirut to watch the live Q&A and be able to send their questions and communicate with us. I'll be on stage. Albert Castanian will be moderating.
Wow.
Paul Najjar from, the father
Just to
of
stop
Alexandra.
you on this point,
Alexandra,
for the non-English speaking people, have you catered for them to go watch the movie?
So it'll be in Arabic.
Okay.
The Arabic version will be
Okay.
on with English subtitles
Nice.
around the world.
Okay.
So yes, there'll be people who don't speak Arabic, don't speak English. And for those people, 2 weeks later, we've got screenings in their language. We've got it in 5 different languages.
Perfect.
And we wanted to give it a little bit of time after this event so the word can spread out. And so people in South America who speak Spanish, there'll be a Spanish version, there'll be a Portuguese version, there'll be a French version.
يا ريت تعرفت عليكي قبل.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Spanish teacher in Lebanon. So
Wow.
yeah, I would love to translate.
Oh, look, we've got an amazing man who's helping us, but we love support because it's the most important thing that we've found. To reach those communities, we have to reach them in their language.
Exactly.
And they want to know, but it's so hard for them. يقعدوا يفهموا العربي
Spanish, French, وخلص.
Same problem. As
Same
we
problem
dance with
here.
everyone in their party.
Same problem.
Yes.
Whenever or wherever I talk about enough, they say, oh, it's the movie about Beirut port explosion. بس مش مزبوط هيك. It's not only that. Can you tell me it's really about what?
You're absolutely right. It's not only about the port explosion. It's about corruption. It's about politics. It's about disempowerment. It's about letting go of our power as Lebanese. It's about our history. It's about our legacy. It's about who we are, our identity. It's about understanding the value of being Lebanese.
It's about our joie de vivre.
100%.
Exactly. Even we had all this massacres and whatever.
And it's about our martyrs.
Yes.
It's about our heroes.
مزبوط.
It's about the revolution. It's about why we are here now. This is happening to us. That's what it's about.
مزبوط. 100%. I liked a lot something about the movie. It's not only about corruption, it's about the controversial way of living in Lebanon.
Yes.
We can see people dancing on the beach half naked, and then we can see the traditional fields. Kamen, I liked really what you pointed at.
I heard naked. What?
Yes,
What are we talking about? Sorry, I had a few things on.
Yes, the new
Okay.
Lebanon, because you showed in some scenes الترافستي والجاي عم بيحطوا ميك اب.
Yes.
هلا بلبنان صار لازم يبلشوا يتقبلون. هون باستراليا تقبلون من زمان.
Yes.
I really liked you showed everything about Lebanon, مش بس Beirut blast.
And it was important for
important.
me, 100%. I'm so glad you witnessed that and you realised this is our uniqueness. We are a liberal society, and yet we honour our tradition and our customs. We respect where we came from. We honour it, but we still are evolving, and we have to accept that
We're not there yet.
we are evolving as human beings. And there's some people, like when in the film, the image of the transvestite,
Exactly.
Queen Latifah, this beautiful young boy, and you sit with him and he's so genuine and pure. And I filmed him. I said, I want to watch you put your other face on. And that was, and I said, just do half of your face.
Yeah.
So you can see the controversy.
And we see that's what you're talking about.
To be more tolerant. We have to learn
Yes.
to be more tolerant.
But in that point,
But we
there's-
are. Really, we are. This is unacceptable in any other Middle Eastern country, except Israel, but
You
we
get
don't
killed.
want to talk about Israel. But in any other Middle Eastern country, it's impossible.
you get jailed.
That's how brilliant Lebanon is.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are مش بس modern and shallow.
No.
نحن modern وعم نتقبل الآخر.
But our tradition is 5,000 years of written history. We can't forget that.
No,
We're getting
yeah.
modern, but we are very traditional and we have our values. You mentioned in the movie that you spoke to 2 UK ambassadors or previous ambassadors.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you got like a Western European view and not like a certain Eastern ambassador or something? That was just a point I wanted to elaborate on.
You
with
know,
your brains.
there's been a relationship between the UK and Lebanon. And this is unique for the UK ambassador. The tradition is every UK ambassador, I'm not sure from when, always writes a letter to Lebanon before they leave.
Oh, well.
Dear Lebanon. It's been part of their traditions. But Tom Fletcher wrote 2 letters.
Oh, wow.
He's in love with Lebanon, Tom
He
Fletcher.
wrote a letter.
is.
He is.
Okay.
He wrote a letter in the middle of his mission, and it was Dear Lebanon. And this is what I got him to share in the film.
Yeah,
And
but don't tell them a lot about the movie. Let them watch.
it's the most powerful segment. He's so articulate. And this is wonderful for Western audiences, even for the Lebanese, to see someone of his stature, sophisticated and wisdom and diplomacy, talking about Lebanon in this way. And then he wrote another letter, his farewell letter,
Wow.
which was called Yalla, okay, bye.
Oh, my God.
When I found these letters online, I was doing my research. I did hundreds of hours of research.
Back to journalism.
I found these letters online. I bawled my eyes reading them. Not cried, bawled. I was like, I couldn't believe he captured it in words that I couldn't even articulate. And I swore, this was back in 2018, I found them. I would find him and I wanted to get him to read them on camera for the film. And I found him in 2020.
Wow.
And I, requested for him to do it, and
That
he
answered
agreed.
my question.
You
Surely.
know.
Yeah.
Answered
And when
my
people
que-
watch it,
Yeah.
they cry.
Yeah, wow.
They watch it, the Lebanese and even non-Lebanese, because it's amazing and painful.
Coming from that status, non-Lebanese, but have experienced Lebanon and that effect. Imagine us Lebanese that have hundreds of years experience. in
There is
Lebanon.
another important side. نحن يلي ربيانين بلبنان معودين دائما ناخذ الإلاج أو ما بعرف شو بيقولوا الأشياء كتير حلوة من فرنسا. You know, like we are always used to have someone in love with Lebanon يكون فرنساوي.
Yes.
Because of the Frenchman there.
Francophonie, we are a
Exactly.
yeah.
هي she targeted English وأستراليا. أستراليا والإنجليش people فرجتهم بالموفي قديش كمان الانجليش بارت مهمه بلبنان وبالهيستوري تبع لبنان.
American, Canadian. And we went around.
English.
We went to
Yes.
France too, but you're right, because the majority, France and Lebanon have a beautiful
Yeah, we're a
relationship.
colony.
History.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And we see Emmanuel Macron when he came after the explosion.
Yeah.
من كل قلبه كسر قلبه على لبنان وبتحكي بتسمعي وقت كمان. When I listen to him, say what he said. I cried when he made the speech on August 6th. I said this has to be in the film as well because he hit the passion.
I reckon he cared more than our own president and our own ministers and prime
100%.
ministers, and they're getting paid by us.
Yes.
But anyway, it's a long story of love and hate between French and Lebanon.
It is.
Oh, I
But
hope-
you're right.
Yeah.
That we are more than the French relationship.
Exactly.
We are more than that. We have beautiful friends from America, from Canada, as in the governments or the diplomats, and the UK.
From Australia.
From
I
Australia.
never knew that the Australian government هن عمروا الترين بلبنان
The train
since
lines.
1912 وبعدين 1942 يعني كمان أستراليا عاملة شيء كتير
And
حلو
did you still
للبنان.
know that there's people being paid for the trains in Lebanon, but there hasn't
There's
been a
no-
train for 40 years?
That's right.
Let's go back to corruption.
Yeah.
That's corruption.
But on that point, can I say my mother, Allah yarhamha, when she grew up in the village in Kisba in the north, the Australian army was in the north around her village, and they protected her village, and she
Wow.
always remembers
Wow.
the Australian army.
Yeah.
They were around Hamatura, on the road.
حماتورة
Yeah.
في دار حماتورة كتير
Dar
حلو.
Hamatura.
Yes.
And so she remembers the Anzacs, who were in Lebanon
Yeah,
protecting.
I'm telling you, we've got a lot of history around our region, and unfortunately...
Next time when you go to Lebanon, sorry to interrupt you, I discovered it recently ما كنت عارفة. When you go to the tunnel نهر الكلب,
Yes.
there is a plaque
Yes.
مكتوب عليها thank you Australian Army. هن
Wow.
عملوا نفق شقة ونفق
There you
نهر
go.
الكلب.
There you go.
Yes, really.
In my first film, I have Nahr al-Kalb. I talk about Nahr al-Kalb and all of the armies that have come and gone.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that one because I was really focusing on the armies that have come and conquered Lebanon over the centuries and the millennia.
الحمد لله.
Okay.
And they leave saying we came, we failed, we left, kind of, bye-bye
Everyone
Lebanon.
felt,
Yeah.
yeah.
From, the Greeks, Macedonians, and, before Christ,
Problem
they
is you got mountains and you got the water, so it's very hard to defend Lebanon when you are a military on the shore. So,
Well, to attack Lebanon, because we've got the mountains.
yeah,
We can
hide.
We can, that's right. That's
During
right.
the technique.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the corruption. When we went to Parramatta on the 1st of March, after the screening, I really enjoyed the light press conference with Claudia, with John Paul Mawad, and with George.
Yes, Ronnie Jean-Paul Mawad.
Ronnie John Paul
Yes.
Mawad. Are you the same Mawad? I'm
No,
not sure.
no, I don't know.
I'm
we'll
not sure.
We'll meet him soon.
Zgarta?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I realized no one asked that question. I'm gonna ask it to you.
Okay.
When you show some scenes in the movie about the Beirut blast, okay, everyone is silenced. Lebanese and Australian audience. But like when we talk about Zbali scandal or like electricity
water.
or Lebanese deputy giving a tender المناقصة.
Oh, you
The
get the
tender-
shock. You get
Yeah,
the, oh.
like inside information لحدا تاني. The spectators بقلب الصالة الأستراليان one كانوا عم يعملوا oh my god I noticed وللأسف we Lebanese we are used to corruption. We do not know إنه هذا شيء غلط. أنا انتبهت إنه بس الأستراليان عم بيعملوا هيدا الساوند اوف شوك. وانا يعني في كتير سينز انت حكيتي عن هيدا الكوربشن
مش معقول.
بكل شيء like building private resorts على املاك عامه مثلا.
That's right.
اوكي صاروا بقلب الصاله بباراماتا يعملوا oh my god.
But for you as a girl, an Aussie girl, were you shocked when you found this out?
Of course.
نحن تعودنا ما بنعرف انه هالقد غلط.
I couldn't believe it. It's like even when I'm asking, why didn't the president do anything about it? Around the world, the film was seen in festivals around the world, in Croatia, in Greece, in America. Those foreign audiences, the Western audiences, they get shocked. And when we have the Q&A, they said, we had no idea the level of corruption. We have a problem in our country, the Croatians are like, we have problems, but not like
Not on
this.
this
Not like this.
We have to be aware it doesn't come like this in our country. And I said, yes, that's why it's important for the whole world to see it, because if you don't be careful, this is how terrible it can
Half
become.
of the world has
Jad.
given up on us. Saudi Arabia helped so much the last 30 years. Iran built half of south of Lebanon and they've given up. Everyone's given up on us. If our own Arabs and Persians and Turkeys aren't caring about us, how do we expect the West to care about us? Like,
عملنا awareness campaign really. هيدا another positive side of the movie.
Yeah, enough,
وعيتونا على أغلاطنا.
That's
نحن
right.
تعودنا عليهم. Like when you're
ما لازم نقبل.
ما لازم نقبل هيدا الأغلاط.
But you know, I think it's I think what it is it's been going on. It's like, what can they do? In the film they think, what can I do? What can I do? Yani, but also the culture in Lebanon is a ma'alashi marru'a culture.
مرة.
ma'alashi marru'a. ma'alashi marru'a كسرنا.
كسرناك مشان $100 بالانتخابات you're getting $100 تحط اسمه. You know, take the 100. خذ ال 100
وما تنتخب.
وحط اسم the person that's going to move us forward.
ربينا هيك. like أنا بيجي لهون بجبر حالي حط البلت. بلبنان it's okay. مرق لي إياها بلا البلت.
شفتي؟ It's in our language, it's our habits,
exactly.
behavior, and it's become our culture. That culture has to go. And the revolution was the first time, like, before I made, finished the film, I had finished the film in 2018, 2019, and the film was called The Dream is Everything.
Oh wow, so you were being optimistic.
I was trying to inspire hope. I was trying to remind the Lebanese what their dreams were. The joie de vivre, the Lebanon of the aspirational. But and I was trying to say in that version, get off your asses and go friggin' revolt, will ya? And I was
the first person in front of C-Suite, believe it or not. I was in Lebanon.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God. You know, but then when the revolution happened, I was so happy. My producer's going, oh my God, they did it. I said, oh my God, I'm so happy.
Yeah, we
He said, it's
believed
going to
in it.
ruin the story. I said, I don't care,
No.
we can change the story.
We
We go back, we filmed the revolution, we went with the streets and we changed the story. And it was still going to be like, you know, the dream is everything, but a different sort of twist on it. And then I was just about to finish the film. Well, explosion.
That kicked it.
After that,
That's why it's not
I
enough.
was in shock.
Yeah.
I was, oh my God.
Wow, it can't get worse. That's it.
said- And then I listened and I tried to understand what happened. وقت اللي فهمت شو صار.
خلص.
The negligence. Everyone's trying to put it on Israel. بعتت صاروخ. I'm like,
قاعد الزلمه عم بلحم وفي fireworks وامونيوم.
for 1 month in Lebanon in July, August last year, so many people are saying it's an attack or it's a conspiracy, it's this. And I said
إنه
to them,
سمعوا الطيران لان.
I know, and we heard this and we heard this and we heard this. I said, okay, show me the facts. And they're saying the satellites. Why don't they give us the satellite evidence?
Exactly.
So we're never on Lebanon.
So I said, you know, I asked someone very experienced in satellite technology. What they said is, for the satellites, for us to have a picture, someone would have to have pre-knowledge that it's going to happen.
Okay.
The satellites would have to have been over Lebanon at that particular time, beaming down onto that one spot to be able to take photos. The satellite doesn't suddenly take photos of everything everywhere. You've got 300 satellites in the world.
Okay.
It's not, this is really when you study satellite technology, they have to have a program. You watch it in the films, they show you in Peacemaker and some other films.
Yeah.
When they're doing it, they have a target.
Pre-programmed.
Here are the coordinates. Send the satellite here. Then they can actually watch something. But you have to know, it's not just random. So I thought, okay, eliminate that because, I mean, unless someone's planned it. Because so many people said the Russians, send me your satellite images. Americans send it. You can't. It's like, well, we weren't over Lebanon on this point, or we could have been over Lebanon, but in the car, not over. So that, I went step by step. My job is to find the facts, okay? I'm not against conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
There are 100,000 conspiracies, and I'm with they're true. There are real conspiracies. But I had to follow the facts. The facts always lead you to something. And, you know, people said, yes, there were sounds. But when I studied reports, and you have scientists that came to Lebanon who are independent, they want to study it they're from institutions, not from governments. They're studying it. The sound of a fire, you can ask any fire
expert.
The sound of fire and wind and build-up is like
roaring.
It's like planes. And this, we're talking about, we're 1 kilometre away, the people are in Jamaizi, they're hearing this, it's not far away, Maram Khayel, Jamaizi. They're hearing these sounds, they're thinking, sure, when a tayaran,
They thought it's tayaran.
They thought it's tayaran.
But it was roaring of the fireworks.
You watch it on the camera, like so many people, again, so many people had their phones. Is a tayaran, Waini tayaran, that I've watched like so many people's videos, right? So many people's live camera, on their own phone watching.
You see nothing.
What do you see? Okay, I had this friend in Mukhabarat in the army. I saw the video of the Saruch coming down. I sent him the video. He said, I can do this on my child can do this on his camera.
Look,
on his
بس صار في من بعد الاكسبلوجن let us say post crime يعني بالجاني توفى لأنه صور شيء. Who knows? That's why.
But can I just finish the issue of criminal negligence?
Yes.
Because I went through all of this when I made the decision not to include conspiracy. Mm-hmm. I made a decision not to because it opens up an excuse and a way out for the responsible. Because ultimately, the criminal negligence is actual fact. We have proof. Because in the interview and the press conference held in the palace, on the presidential website, this is where we took the media interview from, the reporter wearing the mask says, President Aoun, you received a letter from your own internal Supreme National Council of Defense saying to you on the 20th of July, 2 weeks before
15 days
the explosion, to you and to the Prime Minister, who was Hassan Diab at the time, telling you if you don't remove this, it could destroy half of Beirut. Why didn't you make a decision to move it? What does he say? I don't know درجة الحرارة, whatever he says, and I don't know وينية بس هن قالوا لك بالمكتوب كاتبين لك كل شيء وما انه شغلة ما انه مسؤوليتي في ناس مسؤوليتهم بقى انت البريزيدنت وهو البرايم مينستر وعندكم مسؤولية. You have a responsibility even to make a noise about it. ما حدا فتح تمه.
And they say
That's criminal negligence.
Exactly.
That is factual evidence of criminal negligence. That's it.
عندك evidence.
That's it.
I'm trying to say it's more than that.
Imagine he had a channel.
You want to, you want to say it's more than that. So if you open this door, what you're saying is all of this government is innocent of that crime, but they're not.
They're all not innocent.
They're responsible.
From letting in that boat.
Don't let them get away with it because they're trying to expose and say it's Israel because they don't want you to look at them and who kept for 7-8 years من تركه هنيك
all of them.
كل 6 شهور يجي مكتوب من البور من ال security and the army saying you need to move it every 6 months.
Yep.
It's not the first letter. Every government from 2013 got the letter وما حدا شال له لأن في حدا أقوى منهم عم بيقول لهم ما تدقروها. So I'm telling you, forget about Israel and bullshit because for 8 years قاعدة هون.
مش 8 days.
ليكي إذا إسرائيل بدها تعمل صاروخ ليش بتعملها بهالطريقة؟ بتبهدل حالها and make itself a criminal enemy to the whole world. It doesn't need to do that. كانت عملتها بطريقة أذكى من هيك ومرقتها. That's like stupid. Why would like a country, and they tell me, because the port of Haifa فتحت وبدهم economy بدهم يسرقوا من
many
port
excuses many excuses.
والصين هلا عم تدعم تروح بورت طرابلس. No, it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
No, we need to be realistic
هيدا
about it.
big low principle. رح جرب قوله بالفرنش بس انتم بتصلحوا لي بالانجلش. هن غلطانين بشغلتين بالقانون بيعاقب عليها par acte et par omission.
Exactly.
par acte et par لا هيدي هي النيجليجنس.
Absolutely.
Now that we know you well, let's make a flashback. لأن دايما هيك بيصير. People they say oh she's famous بس ما بيعرفوا إنه قبل كتير اشتغلتي وكنتي قبل famous. Like I made some research. شفت إنه ب 1996 عملت دوكيومنتري كتير حلو مع عمر الشريف اسمه Lebanon Imprisoned Splendor.
Yes.
وأخذت عليه كتير جوائز.
Yes.
So how was it? خبريني.
Well, the film was my personal reacquaintance and really claiming back my Lebanese identity, because I grew up in Australia not wanting to be Lebanese because of the stigma and the media about how bad Lebanon was throughout the war. But I never dreamed I would meet a true star. Ahmad Sharif is rare. You know, they don't have stars like Ahmad Sharif today.
مش هيك سألتك how was it seeing?
He was truly
Really live.
a star.
Yeah.
You know, when I chased him halfway around the world to find him, and
But why? He's Egyptian. He's an Arab icon. Why?
He's
Ahmad Sharif?
Lebanese origin.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So I
أمه
just learned that.
لبنانية.
I just
he's
learned that.
Lebanese. Well, Michel Chalhoub من شطورة.
No way.
Yeah, had
See, I just learned something new. That's amazing.
My dad told me this. He says, when I was making, why don't you get Ahmad Sharif? He's from.
أنا
he's
سلمى
Lebanese.
هيك. I knew Shakira, بس هلا تعلمنا والمشاهدين أكيد تعلموا.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
Shad, he was, and yeah, because he was a famous Egyptian actor. He was born there. But as he says in the film, when you are Lebanese once, you are Lebanese for eternity.
Wow.
Your children are Lebanese. Your grandchildren are Lebanese. You never stop being Lebanese. And it's a beautiful moment in the film. And you can see the film online. You just search Lebanon in Prison Splendor. It's on. You have to pay for it. It's $5 or something like that because it's on a platform.
Okay.
Who hosts the rights, but. It's a real wonderful story. Thank you. It's really it takes you on a journey, and that was the first film that I made, and it was how I got into filmmaking, because I was a print journalist in newspapers. Then I went to London and worked in TV for Channel 4 News. And then I realised how much more powerful.
Yeah, the picture,
much
that
more
was your
powerful
transition.
that medium was,
This movie أخذ award اسمه Boston Film Festival.
Yes.
Best of the shorts.
The best of the shorts, because it's only 50 minutes. It wasn't a feature,
Can you list quickly, please, the other awards يلي أخذتيون بenough?
Enough. God bless Enough.
كتير.
Like, we have made it into 25 film festivals with the film so far.
It was a full film.
Yes, as a full feature film, hour and a half film.
Nice.
The first award we won was the Cannes Film Festival Award in 2021, the Movie That Matters Award. It's part of a humanitarian program attached to the Cannes Film Festival. But we've won 12 other awards at different festivals around the world. A lot in America, in Europe. Indie Fest, we won Best Documentary and Best Musical Score, Best Director in The Docs Without Borders. Another one in America we won the Georgetown won the Best Original Score for the music, and I got an outstanding or an excellence award for the film.
Chelsea Film Festival, Karama Festival, Box Film Festival, a lot. يعني حتى أنا ما بعرف من وين كل
Every festival, you are the festival. You done great. That's amazing.
You know, the best thing about festivals is not the awards.
Yeah.
It's that they are not Lebanese. And they're saying this is a very important story.
They recognise
we
our
want to
cause.
show it to our audiences.
Yes.
So it's getting a global audience.
Beautiful.
And people are learning, even though they're not Lebanese. That's why you put your film in festivals. And I encourage any filmmaker and anyone in the arts, always submit to festivals, always push it, because you're exposing your vision, your passion, your story, your message to the world, and you need to do that. Don't think of it like, it's an award.
It's rewarding to you, but it's rewarding to Lebanon too.
Yes. And it
Yeah.
puts Lebanon on the map again and again and again in a global context, not just in a Lebanese context. نحن بس ما بدنا اياه بس يدل مع العيلة، بدنا اياه القصة تطلع لبرا، لأن بعدين في تغيير. Only then change will come when we take it beyond the family argument.
That's true.
Exactly.
Lebanon is a family argument. We need to expose
World
it.
affair.
هيدي جايبتها معي من لبنان من 10 سنين.
Wow.
Okay, it's Allo Beirut.
love it.
This is where I teach there in Zaq Blad. A real sightseeing about Zaq Blad. شو عملت? Please, can I have the gift? I'm happy to give you a gift.
Oh, wow.
My own work. It's art.
Wow.
I copied this. I copied
Oh
this
my
man.
goodness. Oh
This
wow.
month وعملته painting during the lockdown. ولو بتعرفي من شو؟ من ميرينو وول. I'm so happy
my
I could mix
God.
between
Australian,
Lebanese and
Lebanese.
Australian.
Wow.
Very talented. You made this.
Yes. وقت كنت بدي اجي على استراليا قالوا لي رايحه على استراليا وما بتعرفي شو يعني ميرينو.
Well,
Thank you.
قلت لهم لا ما بعرف شو يعني ميرينو.
Oh, that is.
It's Allo Beirut with the.
That
I got
is
inspired from
stunning.
this one.
that is beautiful.
That
is
is
beautiful.
stunning.
I'm happy that you like
Am I
it.
getting anything?
Of course.
Oh, I
You
love
tell
it.
me,
I
and
honestly love it.
Yeah. It's an Australian Lebanese lady who lives in Lebanon من 20 سنة. هي علمتني التكنيك.
That is so
I'm
beautiful.
so happy to do something like.
I don't know if you can see this, but
Allo Beirut
it's
with the
stunning.
Lebanese.
You
أكيد
can
في
see
أغلاط.
the quality of the weave and the wool and the whole features. It's truly beautiful.
Oh, it's merino Australian wool.
Oh.
ما قبلت إلا ما أشتري الأصلي تبع أستراليا.
I'm so honored, honestly, that you chose to give this to me, and I'm
Of course,
so
I'm
humbled.
honored.
You know, I love Australia. We should never, ever, ever deny the value of our adopted country.
Exactly. فيها
Ever.
كتير خير للبنان أستراليا.
كتير خير، وكمان يعني أمريكا وكندا وكتير بلاد.
Everyone that took
They
us in.
gave us a chance to live in peace and to see truth. And you know, there's an expression to see the wood for the trees.
Yes.
In the wood, you're stuck with all this. You can't see. It's chaos. Unfortunately, the Lebanese are living in chaos and have been for decades. And this is why it's up to us in the diaspora to help them to see beyond the chaos and to give them hope and clarity. And that's where our role is. Our role as diaspora is to come with calm, clear vision for them and say, this is why the Australians, they don't accept the corruption.
Exactly.
They don't accept it. And we as Lebanese in the diaspora, we don't accept the corruption.
We need to show
understand
the
it.
better side of it.
We do not accept it here. In our country, we would never accept it. So we should never accept it for Lebanon and for the Lebanese.
Exactly. بيعلمونا بأستراليا كيف نكون politically correct.
Yes.
ولازم نرجع ننقل هيدا الشيء للبنان. إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.
في كتير فينا نساعدهم، وفي كتير هن نحن بنحترمهم بنقدرهم because تحملوا، وهن الوحيدين اللي حميوا البلد kept it
till now.
So we need to help them.
Exactly.
We can't demand any more from them. We are 16 million outside Lebanon.
Wow.
Enough لإلهم.
Enough لإلهم كمان. نحن لازم نقوم ونساعد.
طيب إذا 16 مليون كل يوم واحد بعت $20 على هالجو فاند شو بنعمل بلبنان؟ بنعومه.
يعني المهم إنه كل شخص يفهم.
Yes.
لأن بس بالeducation بس بالفهم العين تفتح.
مظبوط.
The awakening. And this is what we want to give to the Lebanese. The power of education and awakening. بعدين هن بيقرروا لحالهم. نحن منا we don't have to say anything else. بس تفضلوا شوفوا وقرروا لحالكم. إذا ما بدهم معلش هن أهلنا أخوتنا. ما فينا نجبرهم لأن ما كلهم رح يعرفوا دغري.
بس بعد 30 سنة مرارة وقرف حلنا بقى بعتقد حلنا بقى
في
نوعا.
كتير بيفهموا بس
Yes.
ما بدي ازعل لأن أنا عندي أهل
Yes.
منن مقتنعين بالثورة والتغيير.
Yes.
بعدهم ما سلطة في ناس بقى وأنا I love my family. I'm not going to go against them. but ما رح شجعهم.
بس هن لازم يحاسبوا هالناس اللي صار لهم بهالسلطة هالقد وما عملوا شيء. كنا عم نحكي أنا وماري قبل شوي إنه في ناس يا عمي بنحبهم أنا وماري بس أنا إذا طلبت كشف حساب شخصي عنه هذا النائب هو هل ترى حيعطيني بقول لي لا بس هداك ما عطاك أنا ما بدي هداك أنا بدي أنت حاسبك يا حبيب قلبي بلش أنت وبتكرر الهاي. That's it. Yeah, تفضلي.
I love that because I was interviewed on Al Shadid by George Salibi in a midnight program and he gave me a moment and I spoke down the barrel to the camera to the Lebanese and that's what I asked them. I said if you believe in your leaders so much then ask them to open their books, ask them تيفضحوا بعدهم إذا ما تنطروا بلشوا إذا بيعرفوا شيء عن هيدا أم عن هيدا بلشوا يفتحون
كلهم قابلينه سوا.
ليش عم بيسكروا وعم بيخبوا على بعضهم كل واحد بيقول هيدا وهيدا 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 وهي وهي وهي. One of you stand up and start to reveal the truth that you know. If you are innocent, expose. I remember saying, if you saw a crime being committed and you witnessed someone shooting someone and you sat silent, you are complicit.
You're killing him another time.
You're complicit in the crime. This is the law around the world. This is a universal human rights value. You must expose the guilty. So if you know something, you must tell the truth and help in resolving the crime. But the Lebanese who are staying silent are complicit in the corruption and the crime being committed against the humanity of Lebanon and the human beings of Lebanon.
بالمختصر المفيد خلينا نركض على البلد ب 15/5/2022 ونعمل تغيير عن جد هاند اون ها يكون كل واحد يروح بضمير صافي. لو كل حياتنا جدي وبيي وهذا حب هالشخص لازم نحن نروح نحكم ضميرنا ونحط الورقة المضبوطة.
نركض على الفوتينج بأيار ونركض على enough بأبريل 9.
أكيد
April 9th. Please watch it. Please just open your eyes and tell the Lebanese in Lebanon, your friends, your relatives to go and watch it in the cinemas.
Everyone.
Because it will make them want to go and vote.
Yes.
It will. And that's all we want is people to go and vote.
إن شاء الله خير. إن شاء الله.
هذا سلاحنا.
Thank you honestly.
It's our weapon, 100%.
It
was an amazing gathering for our first podcast. Thank you Mary وأكيد thank you Daisy.
Thank you George. Thank you Mary.
Thank you Georgie for organizing everything.